movie video, just because they're trying to gaslight me again. But at the same time, I realized that what they just did gave me more of a nostalgic experience, even though they were trying to, and I'm saying that it's stimulating me, but it brought me back to to me when I was in middle school. Now let me just start off, because I just don't want this video to make no sense for anybody who's just watching this and wonder why am I making videos about movies that were made in 2003. There's people around me who we call perps. Those are a lot of target individuals call them perps, but they are truly clowns. With me, they're supposed to make me subscribe and identify with the way I'm being currently manipulated. Matter of fact, I will, of course, be descriptive of the manipulation that I'm experiencing right now because of what you're seeing here. What you're seeing here is a movie that was made in 2003. Actually, you can see the release. I think it came out, the first release was in 2003, January, and then I think later on that year it came out for everybody. But I remember that was the time when I was I think 15 years old also when it came out. I think I was turning, if I'm not mistaken, I was 15 years old, or 14 actually. Yes, I was just turning, I was 15 years old. Just turned 15 a few months back when it came out. And I remember seeing the previews of this movie. I remember in those days. And not too long ago, it's funny, they tried to make me imagine just seeing it again because I just saw the previews of this movie. And this is the days I remember watching this movie around that time. Or at least a preview, or it was like a movie coming out soon. And this movie that came out when I was a 15-year-old is now being utilized to complete the research of these researchers. Now, what's happening to me today is what a lot of target individuals deal with. But what is a target individual? A target individual means that you're just a test subject. So sad. And you're a test subject that deals with all kind of alteration, utilizing technology that can attack your mind and your body. My body is being destroyed. It's destroyed in ways that just slowly handicap me, which I will, surely perhaps be in more handicapped situation. But what also is happening is my brain is being rewired. You've seen a lot of my videos where there's a bunch of videos that show like they manipulate me toward this baby, this child, this teenage kid. It's non-stop. They just stimulate me. It's so disgusting. The extreme manipulation can be aimed toward like the youngest baby. And it's funny, I was making this video early on. I was looking for a picture, and then I saw the little toddler girl, and they were stimulating me toward her. And they told earlier they did that toward like a 9-year-old. Her chest. It's disgusting. Then when you're being manipulated this way, they have this ecosystem of perps who's trying to get you to accept these things. And for me, what they're doing, they tell me it's the research that they're doing. It's their research. And they're researching because this experience is actually just a mind experience that is just looked into. When in truth, they are altering your brain in the most degrading ways. But they try to convince you that you're not being manipulated, that you are supposed to be this persona that they've put together. They build this persona and really want you to accept. And these gimmicks of clowns, which are perps, have to behave as if they truly are researching and not just rewind my brain. Like the research is not about the manipulation, but it's just trying to, they expose you, they reveal, they have no shame. They're like literally, we just revealed you. Now this thing here, I don't mind them using that to break me down, because in the midst of them doing that, it exposes them more than me. Now with me, my brain is just so destroyed, so rewired, and so like illogical that even that can go in my brain in a way that just validates them. This is a movie that came out when I was a teenage kid, a 15-year-old. These actresses that you're seeing there is them today in that movie in 2003. We are literally the same age. We have the same age. I'm the same age as these actresses. I remember seeing this movie or seeing preview of this movie around the same age. Today I'm seeing that they stimulate me intensely. Now I shouldn't be surprised they do that to the baby. Actually, you see the brunette over there, Nikki. Because in the movie she looks a little bit more mature. Actually, she's younger than the other one. Well, when I say younger, like by a few months. In this movie, actually, when you see the preview, the cover, you'll think they're older. They actually look like older teen, but actually they're like 14, 15 in this movie. You see, and you can clearly see that when you see the video. When you see the movie here, as you can see the skinny little teenage kids, typical teenage kids. The brunette, they try to play with my brain a little bit more because she look a little bit older. So I had to take pictures where they can mess with me. They stimulate me so intensely. I'm feeling like almost like a little bit of like pain, not in pain, but the intense feeling in my testicle. And so I had to pick the picture, and the brunette is supposed to be so the movie is about this 13-year-old who becomes very rebellious and now does drugs and then doing things with with boys, as she's a kid, and the bad influence is the brunette, and they were forcing me to get sexual stimulation toward the brunette because she looks a little bit older, and so they try to make me look at her more in an adult way. Now today they can do that to the babies. They did that to a 9-year-old, and so I was trying to look at the pictures where they couldn't do that to her, as you know, they couldn't manipulate me that much. So that picture above is the one I could, like, even with the manipulation, it's not gonna work. But they stimulate me and like, yeah, you see, you want her. It's like, no, the reason why I'm seeing her like that today is because you manipulate me. And when I saw this movie, I was their age. We're the same age. These clowns are retarded. These are the women there in this movie. We're born in the same year. One exactly the same year, the other the year before, but we have like a few months difference. This is how bad it is. And it's the weird part about this whole thing is when I'm watching this, it brings me back to me when I'm in high school or middle school. It brings me back to the days or when I look at the styles and everything. It's like, that's just actually gives me this nostalgia kind of feeling, because that's what we were doing at that age, the dances and everything else. Now I wasn't the most popular kid, and they try to bring up something else, but this is like, that's what that brings me back to my time when I was their age. It makes me feel like when I was in middle school, high school, especially like toward the end of 8th grade, we used to have dances. This actually, that brunette reminds me of like when we used to go to a dance. There was this girl, like, I'm like, literally. It makes me feel back when I was in middle school and high school. And today, these clowns are manipulating me in these ways, wanting me to identify with this manipulation, and using a movie I watched in 2003. And they're like, oh, proof. Look how you look at these kids. But you manipulate me today toward the babies younger than her. So, of course, it's going to go that way. At first, it was just like a mental battle. It was like, were they actually kids when they were playing this? And, you know, the truth is, when you see the cover, it's harder to tell. Like, you're not sure. But you look at them in person, it's like, okay, now you see the teenage kids. And you can tell it's totally obvious you see the kids. The brunette, they kind of try to mess with me because she does have like features of like a little bit older, but she's definitely look like a teenager. It's just my brain is just so rewired that I could not. They just overpower me with the technology that can rewire my brain. The blonde, she looks so tiny. She looks so like not tiny. She looks so teenage like, and like a small skin like that. They can't even do it. And they're like, yeah, no, that's proof. It's 2003. This grown woman, we're the same age. This is something I can relate in my teenage years, my young teenage years. It makes me feel like when I was going to the dances, I see the styles and everything else. It's like that was, it just makes me think of like me when I was a teenager. A young teenager too. Not even high school. When we go to that, like, that's what it makes me feel like. And today I'm being told I'm being framed by children. And when you look at this little teenager, oh my gosh, you disgusting trash, you retarded. These perps will gaslight me and will put themselves in this kind of circumstances where they can use that to validate them. I was them. This is my era of being a teenage kid. This is when I was a kid like them. This is me. We're the same age. That's what we dress like. It's like, yeah, no, you might be. It's like, and I'm like, you brought something that actually gives me the feeling, or not even the feeling, makes me think of me when I was at that age, 13, 14, 15. Especially in middle school. It's just weird. Now, target individuals stay strong. I hope my stories and what's happening to me is helping somebody. But you gotta understand that the people around you, if you're a target individual, are there to break you down. They clearly are wanting you to identify with this false persona. They have no shame. They are gimmicky, and they're going to be full character. For me, when they use that, I will for sure take advantage of this stupidity. Now, it still breaks me down. Oh my gosh, there's still all kind of mental battles. They're like, yo, well, why can't you see the brunette in more like a teenager, and you can see her like, it's because you're in my brain. Okay, I can't even look at a 9-year-old normally. Okay, just because this brunette has more of a like features that makes her look a little bit older, you can manipulate my brain a little better. And they make chains, moving their chains and things like that. Delusional trash to try to convince me, to try to use fear to gaslight me. Delusional trash. Talking individuals stay strong. And they're like, no, we're mapped. There's you a bunch of clowns who just rewire my brain. You can make me look at children like they're adults. God forbid they have anything that's like features that can be rewired in ways that they make them appear like adults. You can do that. She clearly look like a teenager. Maybe look an older teenager, but she clearly look like a teenager. But you playing with my brain this way, because you can, and you do that to a younger kid. The blonde looks too much like a kid, and it's harder for you guys to manipulate. By the way, the blonde is actually the older one. Because her features are more look more like childlike. It's harder for them versus the brunette. Even though she's younger, they can just play with my brain a little bit more. But this is movie made in 2003. This actress is there, a grown woman like me. We're the same age. And they may play with the chains and all that. I was like, I gotta run to that. You gonna bring a movie made when I was a teenager, the same age of them? And they do their whipping, noise camping, all this theatric stuff. And they're like, yeah, you might be, huh? It's like, bring this retard kids. Go ahead. Subscribe. Bring these teenagers and make them gaslight me. When they see this movie made in 2003, they weren't even in the testicles of their parents. Well, I was like these kids, going to dances and things like that. So I can just stay strong.